All right, Max, welcome back to the channel.
Thank you.
I think we had you on here probably about 8 months ago, and you've been doing the inner work with me for about probably over a year.
That is true.
And we've done two one-to-one programs. You've been in the Awaken Entrepreneurs group for about 9 months. We meet each week, and I just want you to just tell your journey to everyone here. What's the journey been like this last year?
Yeah, it's been intense, man. It's been intense. A lot of inner work, a lot of just getting more comfortable with myself. I think that's like the thing that comes to my mind is just getting more comfortable with myself, um, just exploring more and more parts of myself, and just getting deep, man. Just getting really deep.
I've seen so many changes within you, but what would you say was the biggest ones you've experienced from, how you coming into the work? How were you, and
Yeah.
how are you now? What's different? What's new?
I think the biggest thing for me right now, man, like the biggest change is like just feeling more comfortable, just feel more comfortable in my own skin, feeling more solid, feeling more grounded, feeling like I just like I don't live in that same. Not that I. After our first session together, I think I uncovered a lot of fears and trapped emotions. But like working now, I think the main thing is like I feel way safer.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? I just feel like safer. Like I'm not second guessing myself as much. I feel safer in my own body. I feel safer to say whatever I want. I just feel the stronger sense of self, the stronger sense of the fact that I'm here for myself. Like I feel like I have my own back even more than last time around. I feel like a much greater, deeper security within myself.
Hmm.
I would say that's probably the biggest change. And how does that look on the outside? Well,
Yeah.
it looks like, you know, I feel like my opportunities with work and relationships are endless. I just feel like a greater confidence moving forward through life, whether it's dealing with, people in my family who I've had tumultuous relationships with or things that have triggered me before, going and doing talks that I was scared about doing before, making videos I was scared about doing before deep down. I don't really fear those things in the same way because of that stronger security within myself. So, yeah, man, I would say it's been huge.
So for people, you've been doing this work for over a year now with me. What
Hmm.
actually is the work? What's happening for people who are either have been doing it or looking to do it? What's that process actually look like?
The process of the work, like just working with you mean? Like what that looks like on a weekly basis?
Sure, just the work in general.
Yeah,
What's the
the
key?
work in general, dude, really the key is just being with yourself. Like that's the key. I always said like you're never truly at peace. You're never actually going to be okay if you can't just sit there with your thoughts and your emotions. If you can't do that, then like what's the point? You can do all these things to try to distract yourself. You can do all these things to try to make you feel good, to make you feel validated, safe, loved, whether it's making a bunch of money, being with certain people, getting validation through your accomplishments. But like, is that ever really going to fill that thing that we really are on the search to fill? And if you can't just be at home by yourself at peace with your emotions, with your thoughts on a normal day, then what's the point? I don't know if I answered the question. But the work is sitting with yourself. That's the work. The work is being able to sit with yourself, sit with those emotions, and accepting them, letting them in, trusting yourself, trusting the universe, right? There's a spiritual component to this. It's sitting with yourself, sitting with what comes up. Something triggers you, someone said something to you, you second guess yourself. Okay, now let's sit with that. What's coming up with that? Is there feelings of not good enough? It's just sitting with that emotion, letting it be there, not judging it, just being present with it, allowing it, and then eventually it dissipates. And as you say, you're able to let it go, right? And that's the majority of the work is really just being able to be with yourself, be aware of the emotions, the triggers, the bodily sensations that come up, sit with it, allow it, not judging it. That's the key. Allowing it, not judging it, being soft with it, being compassionate toward it. And once we can do that, then it doesn't have power over us anymore, right? Like that's the key, man. That's the crux of this work, people. That's the crux of this work. It sounds simple, and in a way it is. The challenge is just getting comfortable with yourself, getting into that routine and that pattern of being there for yourself. And once you can get out of your own way and just truly allow your emotions to be there and without judgment, the freer we feel, the better we feel. So it's really just a game of surrendering and being present.
Well said. You're not new to personal development. In fact, you're a coach yourself.
Yeah.
You talked a little bit about, what's the difference between this work and everything else you tried before, which clearly wasn't quite it for you.
Yeah, I think, the work I was doing before was still like very much an external game. This is an internal game, the work that we're doing. It's all internal. We're getting to the root here. Like that's the thing. We're getting to the root of these things that we're trying to gain on the outside. So the work I was doing before, I did some talk therapy before, which was helpful from an intellectual sense. It helped me alleviate some certain thoughts and certain ideas, but I wasn't getting to the root. I did a lot of exercising. I did building businesses. I got validation through other successful endeavors in my life. Here's the real difference with this work. The real difference with this work is it's lasting. It's lasting because we're getting to the root cause of what's keeping us back, what's keeping us stuck, what's blocking us. The other stuff that I've done in the past, yeah, I've done some like psychedelic ceremonies, I've done some talk therapy, I've done some other like journaling, breath work. These are great practices, but they don't necessarily stick. I think that's the big difference with this work is after we do the work with you, we have the tools and practices to do the stuff on our own. A lot of the work that I do with you is stuff that I do on my own now. That's the difference. We're getting to the root of it. We're getting to the root cause of what's keeping us stuck, what's making us feel stuck or depressed or low or sad or whatever it is that we're feeling not good enough. We can do all these things externally to temporarily alleviate that pain and that suffering, and that's good because it will give us some insights and some downloads and some hope. But ultimately, it's not lasting because we're not getting to the core of it. And when we get to the core of it, we can truly start being free.
Yeah, I like what you said about the root, and that's really the key essence of this work. Can you just talk about more tangibly about what is the root? How do we get to it, and actually, what's it look like after we dissolve that root?
What does that look like? Well, what does that look like? I don't know. Like, let's say you have a stuck emotion of not feeling good enough. Let's do that. Like, we can all relate to that in some degree, in some sense. Like, I don't feel good enough. That's going to show up somewhere in your body, right? Like, the traumas that we have, they are kept stored somewhere in our body, whether it's our neck, our throat, our chest, our kidneys, fears, insecurities, anxieties, whatever it is. So it's like, it's essentially just like putting your presence on those emotions and almost like identifying them, like understanding that they're there and shining a light on them. Like thinking about, I even do this, I'll think about like the shape of them, the size of them. I'll ask it sometimes, like, what are you trying to communicate to me over here, man? What's going on? So it's almost like you're giving them like a physical identity because they're really just a part of you. And that's what I mean by root. Like there was like somewhere in our past, someone said or we believed that we weren't good enough. Our dad did something, our mom did something, a bully did something, and it's like, so it's like getting to that where that trapped emotion was originally stored, feeling it, identifying it, shining your awareness on it, and letting it dissipate. I mean, that's really the essence of this process.
Yeah, well said, well described. So for people who haven't done this work and gone through it, what's on the other side of healing? What's on the other side of removing the root?
It's everything. It's everything. Like I said at the beginning, the other side of it is like peace. It's freedom. It's internal freedom. And you know better than most what you can achieve from that place, man. You know, like so often we feel like our motivation needs to come from working really hard, and we need to put this pressure on ourselves to, grind it out. And there's like this certain fuel that we get from anxiety and anger, and although that can be an amazing source of fuel, what you learn from the other side of this work is there's a different, actually better, healthier, longer lasting fuel. And that fuel is who you really are. That fuel is like your inner being. It's like, this is what I really want to express to the world. This is what I really want to do. You really feel like when you do this work, you have so much more energy because you're not wearing masks anymore. When we wear masks, there's a certain amount of energy that's sucked from us. But when we're just ourselves and we experience that inner peace and freedom and that safety to be ourselves, then we're just acting, we're just being, we're just an extension of ourselves. And when we're an extension of who we really are, our energy is limitless.
One of the key words you said, is like allowing yourself to be yourself. And as we do the healing journey, so much of it is where it's like this awakening journey.
Yeah.
You talk a little bit about how does the healing work unfold into the awakening, the spiritual? What's even the connection between this?
Yeah, I mean, what a beautiful journey that is. Not to sound cheesy or cliche, but like, I honestly don't think there's a better journey in this life of like coming to understand who you are, coming back to yourself. It's such an amazing, powerful, beautiful journey. It's challenging, but it's so worth it. I even feel like just saying it's so worth it is like an understatement. But yeah, the healing journey is totally spiritual. It's like you learn that there's so many synchronicities in this life, and there's so much that has your back, and there's so much here to show you love and support in the universe. And once you sort of let go and trust that, you start going down the spiritual path a little bit more.
I love what you said, and the key word you said also is letting go.
Yeah.
That's much part of the process that we're doing is letting go and surrendering. Why is that the key? Why is that what unfolds? Like how it unlocks everything for us? Letting go. What can you say about that?
Yeah, because I mean, that's part of what keeps us stuck, right? That's part of what I think people are struggling with is they feel like they need to have all this control over their life. Like, I need to be able to control every thought and every decision, and that's actually what's keeping them in pain a lot of the time. And once we relinquish that sense of control and start putting trust not only in ourselves but the universe, that's really what true freedom looks like.
What do you think about some of the big chunks of things you got from just letting go? What are some of the biggest gains? Learning to let go.
Learning to let go, the biggest gains.
Biggest benefits of learning to let go.
Just trusting yourself. Like, that's the number one thing. It's just like you learn to let go, then you learn like, it's like, everything is okay. It's kind of like a reminder. Once you let go, you're like, I can be there for myself. I don't need to know exactly what I'm going to be doing tomorrow or next week. Like, I actually know it. Like, what the biggest benefit is realizing your own wisdom, realizing the strength of your own intuition, and realizing how much you can trust yourself. Like, all the answers are within. I think that's the biggest lesson I've learned from letting go. It's like you learn to use your own wisdom, your own intuition, your own gut more. And you really learn to rely and trust that. Right? Because when we're controlled and we're holding on tightly, then we're getting away from our gut, from our intuition. We're saying everything becomes intellectualized, right? But the real power, the real strength, the real creativity, the real goodness, that all comes from our intuition, from our gut. And I think you can only truly be connected to that once you let go.
Beautiful. I want to ask you, you've done this work, really deep work for over a year now. You've been head on at it, like doing an incredible job. And it is work. It takes work to get this done. For people who are just about to start the path or on it, in my programs, what's just the best advice you can give to them? I mean, you've been through so many natural ups and downs of the journey, but just what's your best advice for somebody who's been on the path for quite some time?
Yeah, stick with it. Stick with it. Like I said before, like there's no better journey than the going within journey. There's going to be ups and downs. You're going to, that's the beautiful part of this journey too. It's like the downs, as you continue to do this work, you recognize that the downs are actually lessons, are actually opportunity for lessons. And I feel almost cliche saying that, but that's so true. It's like once you get more comfortable with doing this work, the better you get at it. The more I started working with you and the more comfortable I got working with you and using a lot of the techniques that you showed me, the more comfortable I was in those challenging times, you know, because I was like, okay, I know what I can do now to process this, to rebound, to move forward. Like I'm not stuck here forever. So I think that's my biggest takeaway for people is just like keep going. Yes, it might be challenging at times, but you know, ask yourself like, why did you start this journey? Why are you starting this journey? It's because you know there's something greater inside of you. You know you're meant for more. You know that you have the potential to live an amazing life, and sometimes I'll come back to that.
Well said.
Yeah.
You know, right now we're sitting at Holistica. It's a really famous wellness center in the Mexican Riviera. And there's so many different healing modalities, things to do, practitioners, healers of all sorts. But, you know, I'm grateful that you're really committed to me and my work.
Of course, man.
What is it about whether me or my work that was
Drew me
not
in?
particularly helpful to you rather than all this other stuff you could have chosen from?
Yeah, well, like I said before, I tried a lot of different things, right? I tried doing, you know, some psychedelic ceremonies. I've tried doing, or the plant medicines. I've tried doing talk therapy, and some of them have worked to a degree. But like I said, like working with Madison is, you're getting to the root of what's going on inside. You're getting to the root of what's keeping you stuck. Getting to the root of what is keeping you blocked or keeping you sad or keeping you down. You're getting to the root of what's not letting you essentially be free, right? Like honestly, that's what I'd say, Madison. It's like, what's the difference between working with you? It's like, well, with Madison, you're getting to the fucking root of the problem. That's what you're doing. You're getting to the root, and I don't want to even call it a problem, but that's what you're doing. You're getting to the root of the issue. We're tackling the root of what's holding you back from being who you really are, right? Because that's really the goal, is to get down back to who you are and be comfortable with who you are and know who you are and be proud of who you are and love who you are. That's the goal. And we've created all these layers and protection and protective mechanisms throughout our life and belief systems that take us away from our true essence. Working with Madison gets us back there. We're chopping off those layers, we're peeling those layers, and we're getting back to who we are. We're feeling good about who we are. And like I said, we get to the root of what it's all about.
I love it. It really is about the root. Max, I want to thank you for your time.
My
Is
pleasure.
there just one last thing you just would want to tell the world, anyone on the spiritual healing journey? Any last words of wisdom?
Man, just keep going. Just keep going. You have that specialness inside of you. We've all got that unique gift inside of us. We're all, beings. I feel like we're all people who have so much potential in us. And there's a reason you're here. You've probably tried other things. You've probably done the therapies. You've done the working hard, the exercising, whatever it is. Like, there's a reason you're here. Like, just keep going. Really commit to doing that inner work. And as long as you're committed to it, you're going to make it happen for yourself. But, like, stay with it. It's the most rewarding experience that you can ever have. This is what life's all about, right? Life's all about feeling good in your own skin, knowing who you are, and feeling free. That's what it's about. And this work allows you to do that. So to me, this work is everything. Freedom is everything. Feeling good about yourself is everything. And it's a beautiful journey. So I would definitely encourage you to take this journey and stick with it.
All right, Max, it's been a pleasure. Thanks again for your time.
My pleasure.
Yeah, what a journey it's been, man.
What a journey, man.
And it doesn't end here, so
Doesn't end. Love you, man.
we'll see you back in the future, too.
For sure.
All right.
All right.
See you
Thanks,
guys.
guys.